Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight for our third version of Short and Sweet in Lockdown. This is the Christmas edition. Who'd have thought we'd still be here doing this now, but here we are anyway. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. We've got a collection of short plays written, directed and starring the familiar faces of Southside Players. We're just going to get started. We're going to just jump straight on in. No ramblings from me. So sit back, enjoy the show. I'll speak to you at the end. Thank you very much.
Hello?
Hello?
I think you're on the wrong... This isn't... How did you get on here?
Are you addressing me?
Yeah, I was. Are you... Sorry, I think you're on the wrong Zoom.
Zoom?
Yeah, I was meant to be meeting my friends for a Christmas drink.
A Christmas drink? Zoom? Who are you?
Well, to be fair, you turned up here after me, so who are you?
Impertinence! Forsooth, child, if you do not hush your idle chatter and make reparations to your sacred and holy...
Hang on 1 second.
What?
Are you Queen Elizabeth I?
The first?
As in 1556 Queen Elizabeth, Shakespeare's era, that sort of thing?
Shakespeare? You mean that dowdy little writer with the terrible hair?
Quite fashionable now.
Only for morons.
My mate Harry has it.
Well, your mate Harry is a moron.
Oi!
Oh, that was a frightful noise. Most uncouth. Who are you, anyway?
I'm Katie.
Katharina! What a nice name. 3 of my stepmothers had that name, you know. I dislike them all intensely, but I'm still not averse to the name. You may kiss the royal hand.
Ow.
What do you mean?
There's a screen. We're talking through a screen?
Oh, I thought you were hiding in my laundry closet.
Do many people hide in your laundry closet?
Once, too many. Now, not enough. Well, come, press your lips on the screen and I'll hold my ring up to it. Come now, I can see you. Ah, that's better. So, what new and fantastical world is this?
It's Zoom. We talk to each other over Zoom. There's a global pandemic outside, so we can't actually go out and see each other.
A pandemic?
An illness? Oh! A plague. A plague sweeping the land and attacking those ill or old or infirm.
Fancy yourself quite the writer, don't you?
I am a writer.
A female writer? Quite the innovation, aren't you? I wrote some poems myself, you know.
I do know. I studied them at university.
A girl? At university?
I'm sure you would have liked to have gone.
It would have been most improper.
But you would have been good.
Good? Good? I would have been stupendous. If I had gone to school, William Shakespeare wouldn't have even bothered picking up a pen. He would have thought, to hell with this, and become a pig farmer. Francis Drake wouldn't have set foot on a boat. He would have become a pig farmer. My dear Katharina, if I had taken up the mantle of education, the entire world would have become pig farmers.
Right.
I have taken a liking to you, young Katharina. You know when to be silent, which is a lot more than a lot of my maids do. Oh, would you like to be one of my maids? Oh, but you're trapped on the other side of the glass like a friendly ghost. Well, if you do ever find your way here, it's a pleasant group of girls, and only a few of them get beheaded.
Beheaded?
Only a few. Oh, what's this red square say? End? Do I press this to end your audience with me?
Please do.
Please do.
Please do, Your Majesty.
Such a smart girl. Careful you don't get too smart now. You might lose that pretty little head of yours.
It's been 10 years this Christmas since Miss Stanley died. You'd think by now it would start to get easier, but it doesn't. Oh, he was the absolute love of my life. He was. Always so frisky first thing in the morning, lying next to me trying to give us a kiss. Oh, he had the most horrible breath though. I had to push him off me. Can't be having all that before I even had my breakfast. But I always made time for him and me to cuddle up on the sofa and watch the telly. He got really excited when Riz Latif would come on the BBC. I never understood his affinity for the news, as I always found it quite boring. But hey-oh, each to his own. It weren't an easy day, the day he passed. He hadn't quite been himself those last few days. I knew something was wrong that first morning I didn't find him climbing on top of me. I never was an early riser. Always had Stanley there to wake me up of a morning.
Don't worry.
That day, I rolled over and saw him still sleeping. I checked the clock and it was nearly 8. For all the years we were together, there was never a morning he wasn't up by 6. Hard worker he was. Always out in the garden walking on some task or other. He did have an eye for other ladies, though. Can't say I loved that very much. Every time we were out, I'd catch him eyeing up other women. Danny never met a stranger. Just a friend he hadn't got to know yet. He'd just go up to just about anybody, didn't matter who they were. He was really good like that. I was always worried he'd get himself into some kind of trouble being so open and all, but everyone seemed to like him. He especially liked this little Frenchie who lived around the corner. Honestly, if he ever left my sight, I could be sure that's where I'd find him. She was a pretty thing, I can admit that. And I'm sure there was a time when she could have rocked his world. But he was too old for all that by the time we got together. I miss him dearly. Christmas just isn't the same without him. He used to love Christmas time, especially the day we put up the tree. He always preferred to be outdoors, and I think there was something about bringing a tree inside that reminded him of that. I can't say he was all that helpful when it came time to decorate the tree. He was a clumsy thing and was forever breaking the ornaments. Not much you can do, really. At least it's only a few weeks out of the year. One year, he made such a fuss over putting a new decoration on the tree. It was a silly gift from my daughter, a bacon bauble which smelled like real bacon. It didn't actually. If I'm being honest, it smelled like stinky gym socks and made me gag every time I came into the room. But she knew how much Stanley loved a good bacon rasher, and she thought it would be funny to have a fake one hanging on the tree. We had no idea the effect it would have on Stanley, though. He actually put it in his mouth and tried to chew it. Eventually, I had to take it off the tree. It didn't really give us that Christmas feel, if you know what I mean.
Oh!
Stanley, what's going on in there?
Nothing. Just had some trouble with that bird. Don't worry. She's all stuffed now.
Well, that's just my husband, Stanley. Pay him no mind. I had my Stanley before we met. Guess I must have a thing for Stanleys. But my little Stanley was the best friend I could have asked for, and was the sweetest dog you'll ever meet. I really do miss him.
exciting time. Yeah, sorry I couldn't make it to any more interviews. They're so time consuming.
Oh yeah, no problem. No, I was particularly excited to hear about the Scandinavian expansion.
Oh yes. Well, of course, we won't really be able to get you involved in that.
No?
No, we really need to be using our best, our most experienced team.
Right. It's just that the job advert, it mentioned...
Oh, things have moved on since then. To be honest with you, HR don't have a bloody clue what they're doing. Never do they?
Right, no problem. I understand, of course. It did say that one of the main priorities of the role would be...
Unfortunately, the Scandinavian situation is complex. I've pretty much taken it all on myself. It needs an expert eye.
Of course. Well, I'll be here if you ever need support or translation.
Yes, I don't really think that... Sorry, translation, did you say?
Yes. Norwegian is my specialty, but Swedish is very similar, of course, and a Dutch is a bit trickier, but I'd be able to get a pretty good sense of it. I did mention all this in my interview.
Oh, right. Yes, well, I guess that could be useful in some... So I've got some paperwork here that I was going to put through Google. It's very sensitive information, though. I'm not sure it would be appropriate. I mean, you're still on probation.
Right. Yeah, well, obviously that will be the case for a while. I think it's 6 months.
Yes, that's right. It used to be 3 when I pushed it up. An absolute nightmare with the girl before you.
Oh no, what happened?
She just had no commitment. I mean, I'm sure you'll appreciate that with international clients, we can't always stick to 9 to 5 hours.
Well, not always, no, although I think my contract says...
I mean, she actually refused to come to any meetings over lunchtime. I'm talking about in lockdown. I think she's actually eating lunch on her lap on the sofa by the look of things.
No one likes a lunchtime meeting.
I should tell you now, our New York office opens at 1 p.m. our time, and they do sometimes like get straight on the phone. I'm going to need you in those meetings.
Well, of course, I'm always willing to be flexible wherever needed. I did discuss when accepting the job offer, though, that I have certain commitments at home which I can't move around. So that's something I have to bear in mind, just around early or late meeting.
Well, of course, everyone has commitments. We've all got lives. But everyone in my team does appreciate that with our, unfortunately, legal requirement to let you all work from home and therefore commuting not happening at the moment. There's no reason why we can't be at our desks a little earlier and a little later.
Yes, of course, we're all saving time with our commutes, but our contracted hours are still 37.5 per week, so that does work out as 9 to 5:30 with a lunch break.
Well, of course, we try to stick to that when possible. It all works out in the end anyway, with everyone disappearing to do the school run or walk the dog every 5 minutes. Look, I've told you what's expected of my team, and quite frankly, if you had any issues, they should have been brought up during your interview.
Well, Matt from HR, he
Oh, I don't have time to discuss this anymore. I need to put 300 pages of Swedish through Google Translate, and not a single person has offered me any support with it. I'm basically being forced to run Scandinavia on my own.
Is Laura still deputising you on the project? She mentioned in my interview that...
Oh, Laura doesn't have a bloody clue either. Word of warning, don't listen to anything she tells you. Loves sucking up to people and then slagging them off behind their backs. She thinks it's going to get her keep her job. It won't. Yeah.
It can end up being almost like a family, can't it, with everyone working so closely together every day, all day, every day. I mean, tensions rise. Matt said it's a very close-knit team.
Yeah, well, they're all thick as thieves, having their Zoom drinks all the time. I don't know. I don't care, because I have time. I'm basically having to run Scandinavia on my own. I tell them all the time, I need support, and no one can be bothered to step up.
Well, as I said, if you ever need any help at all, or if you'd like me to take a look at that document...
And as I said, it's very sensitive. I can't have you looking at it now. Look, I really must get on. Do you have any more questions?
Is there going to be a Christmas party?
What a lovely room. Nice decorations. Have they left any cookies? Yes, and some milk and a note. Let's have a look. Let's see. Lovely note, but I'm not sure it's enough to get her onto the nice list. Oh dear, is it cold for this one? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's see. Jessica. Ah, there we are. Oh no, it looks like she's been naughty all year round. She is the girl who filled up all the toilets with toilet paper and made them flood. Terrible. And she's also the girl who sadly made her teacher sick by giving her a rotten apple and blamed it on her best friend. I bet they're not best friends anymore. Probably not. Oh, hold on a minute. It looks like she's been nice to her mother and father for the last 2 weeks. She has laid the table before dinner and cleaned up afterwards. Is that enough to turn around? She's also tidied her room every day and handed in all her homework on time. Still, that doesn't seem like enough to me. Oh, don't be so mean, Jingles. Where's your Christmas spirit? We'll give her the present she wanted. Okay, you're the boss. Ah! Santa! I knew that you'd come. Jessica, what are you doing down here? Shouldn't you be up in bed at this time? Are those my presents? What, these are, well, yes.
But they don't look very big. I asked for Cindy's pen pals and a Kinder Kid and all the outfits to go with the Kinder Kid and an Xbox and, well, have you got Cindy's convertible in there?
Jessica, you can't get everything, you know. If we were to give every child everything, then it wouldn't be able to fit in my sleigh. And the reindeers wouldn't be able to take off. It would be far too heavy.
Well, surely you've got magic for that sort of thing.
It doesn't work like that.
What about all the chimneys?
Chimneys?
Oh, yeah, how do you get down all the chimneys?
Well, I have my special magic for that. Let me see.
Why, exactly. So why can't you use that magic to strengthen the sleigh?
Well, it doesn't quite work like that.
Well, it had better start working like that, because if I don't get what I want, I'm going to scream and scream and scream, and there'll be a lot of trouble around here.
Now you look here. Hold on, Jingles. Jessica, it's okay. You'll get what you deserve. If you just go up to bed now, and when you wake up in the morning, the presents will be there for you. Okay?
That's more like it. Merry Christmas, Santa.
Merry Christmas. What are we going to do? Give her the coal. Are you sure? Hurry up, she's gonna come back soon.
He said, aren't you going to say a few words? So then poor Sam had to give a eulogy for a slow worm.
What did he say?
Oh, just that. He was a good slow worm, and we would miss him and remember him with love. Something like that. Maisie wasn't impressed.
Oh, they're tyrannical at that age, aren't they? I remember when Teddy was
Oh, sorry to interrupt, but before I forget, Lou, Sam wants to know what we're having for Christmas lunch for wine purposes.
What, already?
Oh, you know, Sam, research must be undertaken, planning and ordering carried out, delivery times monitored. Knowing the meat choice in advance is critical to the process, I gather. I am under strict instructions to get all the details. So my question to you, as our host, is it turkey?
No. No, this year I thought we'd have something different.
Duck, maybe. I love duck.
Oh, I'd be happy with duck.
Yeah, me too. Quack, quack.
Actually, I thought we'd have a joint.
Ooh, moo.
Beef, lamb or pork?
Do we get a vote? If we get a vote, I vote lamb.
Stop it, Jay.
Not exactly. No, I thought we'd have... we'd eat... We should eat...
You are joking me. Tell me you're not thinking what I think you're thinking.
Like this.
Absolutely not. No effing way. Over my dead body.
No need to swear.
Unfortunate choice of phrase.
Jay, stop it. And Terry, please don't swear. Lou, are you sure this is a good idea?
Of course I am. I have thought about it, you know.
But you didn't think about asking us?
Of course I was going to tell you.
Tell us?
We'll discuss it with you.
Well, we've discussed it, and I say no.
Yeah, duck it is.
Just hear me out.
I don't need to hear you out. I am not eating my dead mother for Christmas lunch, and that's an end of it.
Stop it, Jay. Terry, just hold on and let her finish. Lou, carry on.
Well, we all know Mum was really into sustainability and protecting the environment. And we all know that she was really, really keen that all her stuff got reused and recycled and that nothing got wasted. Well, we all know the instructions she gave in her will about the disposal of her remains.
It doesn't mean we have to do it, though.
But I think we should do it. It was really important to Mum. She spent a lot of time researching it and she set it all up to make it easy for us. So the least we can do is honour her last wish. Well, if she wanted, I don't know, to be cremated and have her ashes scattered at Wembley, we'd do that for her.
Actually, I don't think we would. I mean, most football grounds don't even let you do that anymore.
Why the hell would Mum want her ashes scattered at Wembley? She hated football.
It was just an example. All I'm saying is that I think we should honour her wishes about what happens to her body.
As annoying as my younger sibling is, he makes a valid point. Even if someone says something in their will, it doesn't mean you have to do it. And I think this is one of those cases. Just because a load of eco-nutters, most of whom are half a century away from the sharp end, filled Mum's head with a load of hippie woo-woo crap, doesn't mean we can't decide for ourselves. Funerals are for the living after all.
That's not fair, Terry. The Extinction Rebellion people were lovely about visiting her. And we did have a funeral. Well, a memorial.
Yeah, because
It's not like that. The cradle to plate movement. Will you stop doing that?
It's not very helpful, Jay.
Cradle to plate is a very respectable and widely accepted movement which espouses the belief that it makes no sense to live your life in a sustainable way and then dispose of your body, which is, after all, a collection of prime nutrients in a manner which doesn't fully comply with the modern mantra to reuse, reduce, repair, recycle. They draw parallels with a long history of religious ceremonies in which the bodies of the dead were consumed by their living relatives in an act of loving reverence, which survive today in the Christian sacrament of the Eucharist.
Someone's been on a website.
All I'm saying is it's not disgusting, that's all. They've suggested rituals that you can carry out, readings, videos of people who've done it and saying how lovely it was and how it gave them closure. Links to companies that will, repair it for you. Even recipes.
Irritating as you are, little sibling, I am completely alongside you on that score. It really is a bit...
Piss off!
Guys, stop it. Lou, I completely understand that you want to honour Mum's last wishes, but we can't force people to...
You can lead a horse to water.
Oh, well, what do you bloody suggest then, smarty pants?
Don't row. Lou, I looked at the website too, and there is an alternative.
I am not turning my mother into pet food.
Oh, plan P. It is a possibility.
I am not doing it.
Well, the alternative is scraping 14 plates of leftover mum into the bin on Christmas afternoon, which, quite apart from being exactly contrary to her wishes, is hardly a respectful way to treat the dear departed.
Oh, wait. Plan P. What about Badger?
What about him?
He'll be there on Christmas Day, right? He could eat the leftovers.
It's a nice idea, but I don't relish the thought of spending the journey home with a vomiting Labrador suffering from the after effects of 14 roast dinners.
It's actually not a bad idea. Lou, they let you turn the cadaver into pet food, don't they? We could, use it to feed Badger.
It doesn't work like that. You send it off and it just goes into a factory all mixed up together. It's not like those restaurants where they can tell you the name of the cow that produced your steak.
Hang on, I'm not being funny, but it is exactly like that.
Well, it is if we eat her, but it's not as though Badger would know he was eating her. Terry, would Badger eat her?
He's a Labrador. They eat anything.
Well, there you go then. Problem solved. Mum wanted her family to eat her. Badger was her family. She was desperate for one of us to take him so that she knew he'd be loved and cared for the rest of his life. And if Badger eats her, that's totally sustainable and environmentally friendly, just as she wanted.
But is it ethical? I mean, he was a dog and all that. It's not like he can consent to, eating his dead mistress.
Look at it this way. Badger loved Mum. He still howls when we drive past the turning to the village. We have to distract him with treats. And he was totally obedient. If she'd said to him, Badger, me old mate, after I'm gone, I want you to tuck right into my meaty corpse, he would have done exactly that. And he was as close to her as any of us. He used to sleep on her bed.
Oh.
Oh, look, says the woman who wanted us to eat our dead mother for Christmas lunch.
Don't start that again. So, are we all agreed? We feed Mum to Badger.
Not all at once. Even a Labrador isn't that greedy.
Lou, you've gone into this. How does it work?
Well, actually, it should be fine. Mum had paid a fee to one of the specialist undertakers and they store it for you until you're ready. Well, they do a thing where they prepare, portions and they deliver some every month or whatever you want.
Sunday treat for Badger. Supper with Mum.
Vile youth. Lou, that would actually work. I'd be happy with that.
Lou, are you okay with that?
Yes, actually I am. I think Mum would be too, and that's the important thing.
Oh, good.
Excellent. Sorted. Respect due.
Me too, assuming anyone was going to ask.
We weren't.
Thank you, Jay.
Although that does still leave us with one question. What are we going to eat for Sunday lunch?
Morning, Matt. Thanks for accepting this invite to this meeting. I know 2 a.m. is a bit early, but Wilfred is having problems sleeping, and I'm on babysitting duty. Carrie is busy doing a further cabinet reshuffle for me. Don't worry, you're safe, old boy. We can't think of anywhere else to put you. I did suggest Minister for Justice, but Carrie has pointed out that you're such a wuss, you've probably let all the prisoners out for Christmas, so you can stay where you are. Ha!
Thanks ever so, Prime Minister. I'm having a jolly nice time at the moment.
OMG, Massa. Don't let any of our voters hear you say that. Our ratings are totally pants as it is. Which brings me to the point of the call. I was having my organic lentil stew this evening, and I had the amazing idea to cheer up the public and get myself back in pole position as everybody's favourite leader.
Not entirely sure as you were ever the fave. I mean, people quite liked you as mayor, particularly in comparison to that little short-ass Khan, but I think favourite might be pushing it a little bit.
God, what's that awful smell? Not sure if it's Wilfred or me, after all those veggies I've been eating on my current health kick. Still, better out than in, eh? Sorry, what did you say?
No, nothing, Prime Minister. You were just saying that you had an amazing idea, only it is 2:15 a.m. and I am due to chair a committee of, well, something medical at 8:30 a.m.
Right, yes, well, brace yourself, Matty. It's a corker. We, the Cabinet, are going to stage a pantomime for the great British public, scheduled for mid-December, which will totally take everybody's mind off the fact we may still be in lockdown, depending on course on whether Witty and Twitty can agree on anything with Sage, that bunch of sandal-wearing, yogurt-weaving nerds.
What an unusual idea, Prime Minister. And how, where, and who might be involved?
Oh, I have thought through the framework. Obviously, we will need to fill in the details. It will be a virtual Nash broadcast on the BBC from Windsor Castle, assuming Her Majesty's okay with that. I would have thought she'd be dying for some company after being stuck there for ages with only Philip to talk to. We'll all have to supply our own costumes because Richie won't let us buy any out of the public purse. He's getting very mean. Had the audacity to suggest I pay for my own haircut the other day.
What? Do you actually pay to have someone cut your hair like that?
Oh, absolutely. It takes loads of product to get it sticking out in all directions. I recommend Bumble and Bumble. You should try it. Might help with some of your volume, since you're going a bit thin on top.
Well, Prime Minister, please, my medical meeting is in just over 6 hours.
Oh, yes, sorry. So I thought we could call it the Cabinet and Friends does Covidella. Covidella instead of Cinderella. Genius. And with lots of great parts. We could even rope in some of our opposition to show we're all putting on a united front in these difficult times across the political parties.
But we aren't, Prime Minister. I mean, the only time you speak to Smarmy Starmy is in the House of Commons when he asks you a loyally type question and you suddenly realise the cameras are on you, so you have to pretend to be interested and come back with something clever and intelligent. when you have to answer him anyway.
I know. It was so much easier when Comrade Jesser was head of the lefties. Anyway, here's a cast list. Buttons. Me, because it will pay to my boyish charms. Ugly sisters. Witty and twitty. We thought we could get them fighting over a vaccine instead of a shoe. Baron Harder. Gotta be Richie, of course. Maybe he could use the Panto to announce another budget in a caring way, or at least another list of assistant measures that nobody understands. Pantomime horse, Dominic and Lee, but nobody will know who they are because we'll wrap them in a sheet. Lee likes dressing up as a bird or animal, and Dominic can be the back end of a horse, since we all know he has problems with his eyesight, so should suit them both. Dandini, that's you, old chap. I did briefly think of you for Prince Charming, but you're not cool enough. Dandy suits you better because he's a bit wet and ineffectual.
Thanks ever so much, Prime Minister. I'm flattered. For a moment, I thought I might have missed out on this, your most brilliant idea as leader of the Conservative Party to date. Oh, by the way, you have a question in the chat box from one of the other participants on the call.
What? I didn't invite anyone else to the call. Bloody hell, it's Prince Harry. How the devil did he get on? Wretched man keeps gatecrashing everything, now that he hasn't got anything to do. Hello, Your Highness, or whatever your allowed title is now. Nice to hear from you. I guess it's still early evening in LA.
Strangely, for once, he can't unmute himself, but he's written. He wonders if Meghan could play Covidella, as she is such a good actor, and the strong, supportive feminist roles are perfect for her.
Thank you so much, Prince H. It would have been an honour and a pleasure. However, sadly, I've already earmarked that role for Pretty. God knows she needs some image enhancement at the moment. Her only problem is stopping her headbutting one of the other cast members if they oppose her.
Oh, he's written. He understands, but would be grateful if there was any role, really, as Meghan is a bit cross with him at the moment and blames him for her lack of popularity with the British public. She thinks this type of exposure would be just what she needs to show her light and witty yet caring side. How about Fairy Godmother?
Indeed, Your Highness. That would also have been a fantastic idea, except we have already agreed with Teresa that role will go to her. That way we have representation for the more mature of our voters. Plus, I'm hoping we could get her to do that ridiculous bird dance that she did when she was PM. God, she looked dreadful. Almost as bad as Donald Trump in his recent attempt to dance to the Village People. Did anyone tell him that he was a gay iconic anthem, by the way?
Oh, His Highness says, please, he is desperate. And by the way, he suggests you could do with someone stateside pushing in a good word for you with the new administration.
Fair point. Okay, the only role I have left is Prince Charming. She is welcome to play and actually would quite suit her, since she clearly wears the trousers anyway.
Oh, he's left the call, Prime Minister.
Well, he'll have to get back to me soon. We need to start rehearsing, and that will be a challenge over Zoom. I'll just stick to my original idea of getting Ed Balls to do it. He could come riding into the Cabinet Office doing that Gangnam-style dance he did on Strictly. That made me laugh nearly as much as when he was Shadow Chancellor. Or was it Shadow Foreign Secretary?
Oh, Prime Minister, have we nearly finished? I have to get showered and dressed now before my very important meeting, and I do need to Google NHS to find out what it means.
Yes. Off you go. Wilfred's gone now, so I can get my usual 10 hours of sleeping and be up at the crack of midday to face another day as dynamic leader. I wonder whether we should include some of our European counterparts. We could even get Emmanuel a sexy part. That should appeal to his froggy ego. Angela could be somebody's stepmother, but I'm not sure about Donald. What a pantomime has a role for a gnome.
Good evening. I'm Paula Ramsden. It's Thursday the 31st of December and this is your newscast. Tonight, we bring you breaking news as the government is set to announce yet another emergency lockdown. In a brief statement ahead of this evening's press conference from Downing Street, the Prime Minister expressed his gratitude and pride in the way that the country responded during November and December. In fact, worldwide efforts during the lead up to Christmas had been incredibly successful, with no new infections reported anywhere in Europe since the 9th of December, and similar results across most of Asia, the Americas, and the Southern Hemispheres too. By Christmas Eve, the R rate had reduced to virtually zero across the globe. Governments based their policy on sound, scientific data, and it was confirmed that wearing a mask and wearing it correctly was key all along. And the concerted effort by everyone to use a face covering is what ultimately triggered this long-awaited turning point in the pandemic. However, no one could have predicted such a drastic U-turn in the situation, and ministers and experts alike are flummoxed as to how infections could have skyrocketed in the space of just 2 days between Christmas Eve and Boxing Day, virtually overnight. It appears that some sort of super spreader event has occurred, affecting every single household, but in a domino effect. The virus, carried by an as yet unknown host, has spread from house to house, street to street, city to city. However, due to travel restrictions with families staying at home this Christmas, it is unclear how the virus could have travelled so far and so fast. Newspapers have already begun to draw fantastical comparisons, calling the virus magic, with some conspiracy theorists even claiming it was carried on the snow. And it's not just the UK, but many other countries too. The first reports came in from Northern Europe and Scandinavia, but it wasn't long before the rest of Europe had followed suit, along with North America and the Far East, although virtually no nation has gone unscathed, and reports continue to arrive from even the most far-flung destinations. Urban areas do appear to be slightly worse affected, and in a desperate attempt to understand what could have happened, analysts have been correlating and comparing all sorts of data, and some very strange patterns appear to be emerging. The most severe outbreaks have been detected in Christian communities where Christmas is most widely celebrated, but without discrimination between the various branches of the religion. Hotspots also appear to be focused on residential areas with a high percentage of detached homes, with chimneys seeming to be a relevant factor. Work continues to unravel this mystery, and the Prime Minister will be holding a press conference very shortly to explain the terms of this new lockdown. Until then, he wishes to reiterate the importance of safety measures and social distancing, but above all, wearing a mask is crucial. Every citizen has a duty to get a mask, wear it, and wear it properly. More after this short break.
And so I cut his head off. That's what teach me for saying I look like a horse.
You said he rode a horse well.
Oh, perhaps he did. Oh, well, he was a bit short. Short?
Lush.
What's that you've got there, Boudica?
Potato wine.
Ooh, sounds nice.
Important.
So what's everyone doing for Christmas? Betty?
Well, excuse me. I expect I'll do the usual little gathering. 12 days of games, sport, music, feasting, carols, dancing, drinking, roast swan, that sort of thing. Quite quiet, really.
I love Christmas. The trees, the presents, cherry by a fireside as the children hang up their stockings.
What are you on about, Margaret? You sound positively provincial.
Shut.
Yeah, I often think I should have lived in a past time when people knew what rules were and obeyed their betters. I had to deal with working class people who thought themselves a lot better than they were. You know, society, it isn't really a thing. In the world, we each exist for ourselves. Every man for himself, and let the others hang.
You're really rather dreadful, aren't you, Margaret? We would have executed you in my time.
I always liked that carol. What's it called?
Adam Lay Ubondon?
Rudolph, the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That's it.
Can't say I've heard of it.
It's a bloody good song. He's got this red nose, you see.
Who has?
Rudolph. He's a reindeer. He's got a red nose, and I can't remember the rest. It's deeply tragic. It's very moving.
Oh, really?
Yes, they all bully him, and so he
gets eaten?
Yes, that's right. Munch, munch, munch. Poor old Rudy. Gone forever. Just like that awful free milk.
Boudica! Are you still there?
Oh, what? I kill you. What? Where? Wait.
We're still here, Boudica.
Oh. Shut.
Oh. Boudica, dear, tell us your story again about the spikes on your wheels.
Oh, no, that was an exaggeration.
Oh, all history is an exaggeration. People genuinely think I said all that stuff about having the heart and stomach of a king. I was just trying to let them know I had the runs. Do tell me the story, Margaret. Margaret's practically passed out.
My name is Boudica of the Iceni tribe.
Oh, here we go. She's marvellous after drinks.
My husband, Prasessagus, was king of the Iceni. The Romans seized our lands. They tied me to a wheel and whipped me till I bled. They raped my daughters. They killed my husband. I led our tribes into war, not as a woman of noble ancestry, but as one avenging her freedom, the outraged chastity of her daughters.
Goodness.
We burned down Londinium.
London?
We impaled their women on spikes. We cut off their breasts and we sewed them into their mouths. We went into battle one last time. I spoke to the crowds. I said, our cause is just. The gods are on our side, and I, a woman, I am resolved to win or die.
And what happened?
We lost. I took poison. The end.
Shut! If you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman.
Oh dear, she's reciting her own speeches now. She'll be fast asleep in a minute. Oh, quickly, I want to do my party popper. Oh, it's beautiful. It's almost like snow.
And there we have it. That's our show. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you very much. That's us. Actors can come on and give us a little bow. I will call out everybody's names. Tonight, our writers, we've had Doug Dunn, Jennifer Nettles, Jenni Hardwick, Steve Tanner, Maisie Tanner, Barbara Jennings, Judith Moeckell, Wendy Cummings, and all our performers, Jennifer Nettles, Lynne Maltman, Helen Berry, Aidan Steer, Wendy Cummings, Doug Dunn, Maisie Tanner, George Tanner, Joe Tanner, Lillian Green, Julia Coleman, Steve Tanner, Angela Dix, Stuart Dagley, Jenni Hardwick, Carnan Barrett, Judith Moeckell. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks.
This has been, as I said earlier, our third short and sweet in lockdown production directly over Zoom, from Zoom over YouTube. It's been a funny old year for everyone. And we've got another show coming up in March. Hopefully it's another version of Short and Sweet in Lockdown, only we're going to do some pre-recorded short and sweets. We're going to film them like sort of sitcom style with multi-cameras and bring you some recorded as live theatre in March, hopefully in the new year. However, and we'll hopefully, be returning to the stage at some point next year as well, which would be lovely. We've got plans in motion for what the next show is going to be. I don't know. We're hoping Emma's going to do Stepping Out. Basically, is the big plan. Is what we're going to move on with next as a big joyous something to come back to the live theatre with. Before then, some slightly sad news is that the Caterpillar, our regular rehearsal space, is being turned into flats. We just found out about 2 weeks ago, which is a real shame. We've been there forever and rehearsing there, but yeah, it's been empty for a couple of years. It's only been us that's been using it. And now they're turning it into flats. So we're looking for a new rehearsal space. So if anyone has any ideas of places we can rehearse, places we can, we can get together as still in the local area and rehearse all our shows and things. Yes, and finally, if you enjoyed us and if you want to support us, obviously with looking for new rehearsal spaces and looking for new storage spaces and all sorts of things, we've set up a little Buy Me a Coffee account. You don't have to donate anything. It will all go towards putting on the next show and live theatre and all that kind of stuff. So we've got a Buy Me a Coffee account. The link is in the comments. However, it is literally buymeacoffee.com/Southside 2020. So if you would like to donate for that, that would be wonderful. So yeah, another round of applause to everyone who took part tonight and the writers and performers. Thank you very much. Well done. We're all going to stay on and have a little do, maybe. I'll put the link in the thing if people want to come and join us and say hello. I'll put a link in the comments. Cool. Thank you very much.